Alright guys, today I'm going to be reviewing El Toro at Six Flags Great Adventure. This is the Intamin prefab Woody here, and it's had quite a history, especially in the past few years. So basically, it derailed in 2021, the substructure collapsed in 2022, and they retracted it this year, and it opened a couple months ago, and I got to ride it 50 times my past visit. And let me just say, I've got some thoughts on this thing, so I'm going to go over all of them in this review. Now, I know I made a review of this like 2 years ago, but there's definitely enough changes to warrant a whole new review, in my opinion. But yeah, let's get started. Basically, the Intamin prefabricated wooden coaster model, there's only four of them in the world, and I think there's definitely a reason for that. Now, after seeing this and also Colossus at Heide Park and Balder at Liseberg need full retrackings, those two coasters definitely did it right. They went down for over a year. They retracked the whole thing. The wood was rotting on those things, so they did a good job fixing them. And I'm sure when the time comes, Everland will do the same to T Express, because Everland does look like a great park. But of course, we have Salim Basul as CEO of Six Flags. If you don't know this man, he's a disaster. He has been cost cutting left and right, and especially maintenance, which I think is why the two accidents have happened. Because they don't have good enough maintenance. They're understaffed, and a lot of that is due to Salim Basul's cost cutting ways. And it's very apparent that he definitely cut corners on this new retracking project. They did not do a good job like they did with Colossus and Balder on this, and I'll get into the specifics later. So first, let's start off with the line. It's never a line. If it does get to be a line, it's because they're transferring on a train. And also, by the way, I saw Matt from Coaster Studios. He was actually working as a ride op there, and oh my god, that crew was so good. I'll give the ops some credit. Those ops were really good. But yeah, you're never gonna have to wait for this thing, unless it's really busy. In my opinion, the best row is row 17, and the best seat is unload side. So yeah, row 17 because it's the smoothest, and it's in the back, which I like slightly more than the front on this, but it's close. As far as theming goes, there's really nothing. The station kind of looks cool, but other than that, you're not going to get anything on this. So you're going to start off by pulling out of the station, making a slow turn to the left, and then heading up this cable lift. It's pretty fast, not Sky Rush fast, but still pretty fast. You're going to do this slow turn to the left, getting a panoramic view of Six Flags Great Adventure. So basically nothing. At least nothing that's worth seeing for more than 5 seconds. And then you're going to head down the first drop. This is probably not the most disappointing part of the ride, but I felt like it could have been a bit better. I heard they did reprofile the drop slightly from 2021, so maybe that's why. I hear a lot of people say this drop's on par with Sky Rush's first drop. It's definitely not. Sky Rush's first drop is definitely a lot better than this. But this still has great ejector airtime, absolutely sends you flying. And then something that's really underrated on this ride are the valleys in between the first drop and the first two camelbacks. The valleys between these elements are actually really intense. You'll definitely pull some good positives there, but these valleys are also really rough if you're not in a non-wheel seat, which is, again, why row 17 is the best, because even for me, this ride can get a little too rough if you're in a wheel seat. But then after that first drop, you're going to enter the first two camelbacks. These send you flying. And I mean, these are on par with some of the hills on Lightning Rod, like the quad down on Lightning Rod. These two hills are about as strong as the hills on that, but they're not just quick pops. No, you're sustained for 3 seconds. It's stupid how sustained and strong these hills are. It's really absurd. There's truly nothing like it anywhere else that gives you this strong of airtime that's this sustained. So yeah, these two elements are incredible on this ride. But then after the second one of these, you're going to hit the turnaround, and oh my god, this turnaround's a disaster. This might be the roughest part of any coaster I've ever ridden. It is so bad. Even if you're on a non-wheel seat, you're going to get shooken up a ton on this. It does dish out some good positives, I'll give it that, so it's not completely useless, but it also slows the train down a lot, which is another thing that I definitely don't like about this ride. The pacing is inconsistent, which I'll get into a bit later as well, but yeah, this ruins the pacing, and it just jackhammers you so hard. Like my dad was saying, he'll probably never ride this unless he gets a full steel retrack, because like he could hear this thing and he could hear like how bad it was, and yeah, it is that bad. So then after this bad element, you're going to pop up into a weak little floater hill. It's too tall to deliver anything too good, but it's all right. Then you're going to hit another drawn out speed hill, giving another good dose of floater airtime. Nothing too crazy. You're going to step up, get another dose of floater airtime. Then you're going to hit the rolling thunder hill after a turn. And dude, the rolling thunder hill, I can't even explain how good this is. If you have a little bit of room even, oh my god, you're going to get sent absolutely flying. Like, words can't describe how strong this airtime is on the rolling thunder hill. And it's surprisingly sustained. Like, I did not expect it to be like a actual 2-second moment of airtime. I expected it to be like one of the hills on Lightning Rod's quad down, but no, you're sustained out of your seat, and it might be the strongest moment of airtime I've ever felt. It's absurd. And I don't know if this is my favorite element of all time, because Sky Rush's first drop just comes out of nowhere. You can't see it coming, but yeah, this element's definitely at least number 2 for me. It's absolutely crazy, especially in the back. Then you're going to hit this twister section. It's pretty fun. You don't really get crazy laterals, but you definitely feel the speed, which is really cool. You're going to hit a couple more floater hills, and then you're going to hit the brakes. And that whole twister section is also pretty rough, so definitely brace yourself. And that whole middle section, like even after the turnaround, is actually very rough, so that kind of sucks. So yeah, this ride is great. It's got 4 of the best elements in the world, including possibly the best element in the world with the Rolling Thunder Hill. But, I mean, the pacing is so bad on this ride, and it's so rough that, like, I don't know. I feel like I shouldn't give it as much praise as I do, but I have to for those 4 elite elements, you know? But what sucks about this thing is, really, after the second Camelback, I just want to skip to the Rolling Thunder Hill. I don't want to really experience the stuff in the middle. I mean, it's jackhammering and weak floater airtime. Like, it's not that good. I just want to go straight to the Rolling Thunder Hill, which kind of sucks because, again, the pacing on this ride is easily the worst out of any coaster in my top 15. And, yeah, it's extremely rough, but I still have to give it a 982 for its final score out of 1,000, just because, again, the elements it does have that are elite are like next level elite contenders for best elements in the world. So yeah, that's my review of El Toro. Let me know what you guys thought of this down in the comments below. If you got to ride it, is it rougher than before or not? Let me know. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.